Check, 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 check. How about now? Is there any sound now? Can you hear me now? Let's hope so. Hello, Joe Salazar. You can hear me now? Okay, great. And William, if you want to be part of the panel, just let me know. If you're working, of course, no problem. But if you want to be up here, just let me know. So I'm going to light up the fire. Let's see what happens. All right, let's see how easily this thing starts up. Good to see you, William Shakespeare, and as well, Joe Salazar. Hi, good to hear you. Okay, good. I'm glad the volume is good. All right, let's light up the fire. Now, it rained yesterday. That's why I had to postpone it. So this may light easy. It may not. But hey, it's a Monday afternoon. Might as well burn some stuff. Not working today. Might as well burn some stuff. Let's see how this goes. All right. Well, we'll see. That might start up all right. We'll see, folks. I think we need that. hopefully that's going to start up. So it's not too bad out today. I don't know. It's 10 degrees above the freezing. It's long sleeve shirt weather, but the sun was poking out earlier. We might get a bit of rain, but it shouldn't be too bad. And once this thing gets going, a little bit of rain's not going to hurt it. I have myself some lovely Okanagan cider, little little afternoon cider. So cheers, folks. Ah, that's good. And Joe Salazar claims to be able to see flames. Yep, right here, right in here, right there. There are flames. Yep, and it looks like it's gonna go. It looks like it's gonna go. Hello, Demand 50. Good to see you. We're just about to light this up and have a bit of an afternoon burn. It's a Monday afternoon. Got all the work done for the day, so I just thought I'd burn stuff. William Spielberg says, "Thanks, Canadian Spider-Man. Thanks, but I can't join at the moment. Hey, no problem at all. You get your work done that you've got to do, my friend." And yeah, it is a huge pile. You're darn right it is. So while we're waiting for this to start up, I would like to show you something that our good friend Cardinal Sin, has a wonderful brother who sent me this. Ari Bavel sent me this wonderful Iron Spider Marvel collectible. Well, thank you for that, Ari. I really appreciate that. That was part of Cardinal Sin's collection, and he sent it to me as a keepsake. So thank you very much for that, Ari. I really appreciate it. So yeah, that's the real authentic one. So that sits right beside me whenever I stream. So thank you for that, Ari. Oh yeah, you should be able to see the flames now, Joe Salazar. Definitely. Oh hey, look who else just popped in. It's not cheap. Taylor Swift is greater than Disney, Star Wars, and the MCU. You're not wrong there. And yeah, you like the Spider-Man figure? Me too. That was very nice of Ari Babel. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, there you go. Oh, I think we have a fire going now. Yeah, good. Nice afternoon. Might as well just burn some stuff, hey? Yeah, and I don't know if you can hear. I don't know if you can hear it burning. Normally, the microphone picks it up, so hopefully you can hear it burning. It is quite a big pile. I was up on the hillside here and just collecting all the dead trees that have fallen down. And, we don't want those to be left there as fuel for any potential forest fires. So I cut down all the dead trees and pulled up some of the just the forest litter and debris that was on the floor of the forest. And now we're just going to burn it so that it's not fuel for any potential forest fires. Hey, good to see you. Daniel's Hot Topics. Welcome to you. Thank you for being here. And William Shakespeare says, Canadian Spider Man, I don't see your Twitter posts. Oh, okay. Thank you for posting that. Um, you know what? That's a good point. Let me make sure that was posted. Thank you for that. I appreciate it, William Shakespeare. Yeah, it's nice to have a fire this time of afternoon. Still a bit early. Fantastic. So thank you for being here, everyone. Uh, hasn't started to rain yet, so I think we're okay. Got quite a bit of pine in there, and we're also burning a little bit of fir. Uh, for those of you who are fans of the wood or familiar with the wood, so pine burns pretty hot, pretty fast, and the fir will burn not as fast, but it will give some longevity to the fire. Yeah, thanks for being here. I appreciate it, and thank you for the reminder, William Shakespeare. If you posted that to Twitter, I really appreciate it. Thank you for doing that. So yeah, another wonderful Monday. Spring is here. I mean, this is spring, no question. Uh, it's just about camping weather. It's not getting down below freezing anymore during the night. So, and we can still burn. In the summertime, of course, when there's forest fire potential, a lot of summers we can't burn. So right now, perfect time. We can have fires and go camping, and it's not too cold. So, hello, the lovely Sherry is here. Hello, thank you for being here. Welcome. I'm just having a little bit of cider, the adult beverage cider, and we're just burning some of the stuff so that it's clean up the forest around here a little bit, so that we don't have all this fuel just sitting around. So thanks for being here. Cheers. Good afternoon, folks. I hope you're having a good afternoon. I hope you are. Oh, that's good. That's good. Hey, Demand 50. Thank you. We got 6 inches of snow overnight. Wow. 2 days ago, we got 1 inch, and that was quite the surprise. But I think we're done with that now. Although St. Patrick's Day, sometimes we have a fire or a snowfall for St. Patrick's Day. But I know that there's still a lot of the heli-skiing operations are still operating in the mountains around here. So up high, there's still a good amount of snow. But yeah, you should be able to see the flames pretty good down. Hope you can hear them. You can hear them okay. Yeah, just a nice, relaxing Monday. I was out getting wood earlier. Uh, haven't done much with the garden yet. I'm still growing stuff indoors. Starter plants, ready to put them in the garden here. Probably another few weeks. That's burning all right. I mean, considering it was getting rained on yesterday, that's burning okay. It's pretty dry. I had to postpone it yesterday. I wanted to have this yesterday, but it was just too wet. Couldn't do it. So here we are. Oh, that's good cider. Yeah, no snow for us yet. Um, Lovely Sherry says, bit jealous. Wish I was outdoors with the fire. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice today. It's not too cold. The wind isn't too bad. The wind died down, so this is better than yesterday for sure. And welcome to Don McDouglas. Hello from Quebec. Well, hello from British Columbia, my friend. Quebec. And the Montreal smoked meat and the poutine. Yes, absolutely. I do enjoy Quebec. So I don't know that I might have to see. I might have to see what we can do here. It's not going as fast as I'd like it to. We'll see. Excuse me, folks. We're gonna attend to the fire here. Yeah, I think we can do a better job than this. Yeah, I mean it's going, but it's going to need a little bit of help. Whoa, there's the umbrella. Yeah, it's going, but it does need a little help, folks. But that's okay. I enjoy playing with fire. All right. Yeah, that's a little better. That's a little more of a fire. Yeah. Oh yeah, there we go, folks. That's all it took. That's all it took. Cheers. Oh, hello. Holy jeez. Look who's here. Rod Thunderheart. Hello, friend. If you want a link, Rod, please let me know. And I'll send you a link right away. You can join on the panel. No obligation. Just burning some stuff this afternoon. And yeah, if you want to join, you're welcome to. Hello, Tiger Stripes. I thought you would be starting later. I had an opportunity. I got all my work done this morning, and the fire was just sitting here, ready to be lit, and so I decided to fire it up. Normally they are later. Normally I do have streams later than this, Tiger Stripes, but thanks for being here. Yeah, well, who knows? Might have one later as well. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Cheers. Hmm. That's right, Joe. Uh, Placement of the tinder is extremely important. You need air in there and sticks in the right place. So, hi, thanks for being here. Welcome and enjoy the fire. I want. Okay, yeah, tiger stripes. We can do that. Yeah, absolutely. Aha. Yeah, Rod. Exactly. No jail. No jail for Rod. Hell, Rod. I think I can do that right now, Rod. Let me. Well, I might have to move back. That's really starting to catch. I might be. Yeah, way too close. Awesome. We'll see what happens. I guess. There you go, Rod. That is for you, sir. And so you're all set up. Yeah, it's getting pretty warm. I don't know. I don't want to go too big. I mean, this is a decent size. But we can normally I'd go even bigger. But with the wind picking up, I don't really want to have too much of a fire with the wind here. As you can understand, I want to be half responsible at least if I can. But that's a pretty decent size. I mean, the pile's bigger than I am. I mean, I'm closer to the camera, so it might not look like that. But the fire pile is definitely bigger than I am. So I'm gonna have to move back because that is getting warm. Holy crap! Thanks for being here, everyone. Just having a nice casual Monday afternoon stream. I had a pile that I was gonna burn last night. It got rained out, so I thought, why not burn today? There's lots to talk about. Holy shit, eh? Canada is continuing on its path down to communism and totalitarianism with the new online harms bill. It's yeah, gonna put you in jail for even thinking about doing a crime. That's right. Before you've done it, and if people even think that you might be saying something online that's hateful, you can go to jail for that too. So yeah, looking forward to living in another country here. I think by the end of next year. Yeah, it's a great day for a fire. I would like to find somewhere that still we can have bonfires like this. I know a lot of places. Yeah, it's not all that common. I have friends in England that don't get a chance to do this too much. We got friends in Japan. This isn't really all that common over there either. So wherever I end up, hopefully there's freedom of speech and freedom of fire. Hopefully. Good to see you. Oh, hey, not Brian is here. Hello. Everything's just wonderful, not Brian. Just having a nice casual Monday afternoon bonfire. I got the work done this morning, so had the fire ready to go. Thanks for being here. I'd love to, Canadian Spider-Man, love to join, but I'm in line for my last job right now. Okay, Rod. Yeah, gotcha, buddy. No problem at all. Thank you for being in the chat, sir. Don McDouglas says, "Any thoughts on Bitcoin?" Yes, I should have. I wish I had bought more. I did buy Bitcoin over the last couple of years when it was low, and so I'm up like 30%. But I should have bought more. I'm a big fan of Bitcoin, just for diversification, of your assets. Why not? It's inflation proof. Wow, that's hot. Hi, hey, good to see you. Thank you, not Brian. Very, very good to see you. Rod as well. Holy shit, that's getting hot. Okay, I'm gonna have to move back. Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, exactly. If I had children, I'd definitely be considering. Hello, Andy Morrow. Hello. Wow, that's hot. Okay, I'm melting. I gotta move. Hang on. That's damn hot. Wow. Holy shit. Yeah. Wow. Okay, yeah, we're gonna have to move this back. Wow. That's fire. It smells like burning, that's for sure. That's a little better. I know we had some people join us, so I'm going to show you our good friend Cardinal Sin. He's on my coffee mug right here. His brother sent me a keepsake of his, and I'll show it to you right now. Thank you for this, Ari Bavel, Cardinal Sin's brother. For those of you who weren't here before, this is a Iron Spidey, actual Marvel figure. It's metal, not plastic. It is actual solid metal. And I'm really happy to have that. And I keep that with me when I stream as a very nice keepsake. So thank you very much for that, Ari Bavel. Wow, that's hot. Hopefully the fire's not too loud. I know that sometimes the crackling gets picked up from the mic. So hopefully it's not too loud. And Tiger Stripes, I sent you a link. If you would like to come in, you do have a link, Tiger Stripes. Wow, that's hot. I'm gonna have to move further away. Yeah, that's pretty warm. Yeah, you like the figurine? Yeah, so do I. The metal action figure. I I can't thank Ari Bavel enough for thinking of me to have that. Because I know Cardinal Sin enjoyed it, and I will treasure it, and I'll have it with me when I stream. So cheers, Cardinal Sin, and cheers, Ari Bavel. Wow, that is hot. That's hot. Well, what did you expect? It's fire. No kidding. I'm actually going to have to move this back yet again. Wow. Now, is that too loud with the crackling of the fire? Because if it's annoying, it kind of defeats the purpose, doesn't it? Hopefully not. Wow, that's pretty big. I might have made this too big, folks. We'll see. Finish setting up. Yeah, no problem. Absolutely. Patreon is excellent. Good for you. Oh, good evening, Melted Copper. Hello. Cheers to you. Welcome. Thank you for the encouragement last week. Saw your comment. Oh, that's nice. Very good, William Shakespeare. Yeah, Tiger Stripes is that kind of person. So thank you for that. Melted Copper. Hello. Crack. Oh, okay. You can hear the relaxing. Okay, good. Or you can hear the crackling. Good. That's pretty intense. Yeah, that's a fire. Why bring the country if not having a comically large fire? That's exactly right, Melted Copper. This is pretty big. I'm gonna have to move back. Yeah, that's I might have bit off more than I can chew with that, because now the side of my leg is on fire. Oh hey, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it, Raw Thunderheart. Thank you very much. So, again, thank you. Thanks, my friend. Wow. Yeah, I do have to move back. That's ridiculous. That's hot. Well, I don't know. Maybe some repositioning is in order. Holy shit. Right, I might have underestimated the amount of heat that this thing throws. Wow. Whew. Yeah, that's hot. I guess I'm just gonna sit over here. Wow, I'm gonna have to go put on my bathing suit. That's ridiculous. Maybe put the chair so it's blocking me. Wow, that wasn't thought out clearly. Could take the turtleneck off. Yes. Okay, you like the crackling? Awesome. Thank you for the encouragement, Raw Thunderheart. And I could take the other layer off. Yeah, that's true. It was cold earlier. Suppose nighttime is better as you can see the light show. That is also true, Melted Copper. That is also absolutely true, and hopefully it is mood setting, Raw Thunderheart. It is better at night because you can see the flames better. But I'm pretty sure you can see these as it is. And, yeah, that's. Yeah. You're not wrong, Rod. Wow, that's warm. Woohoo! Man, that's better. It does help, Rod. Good idea. Oh, hey, we have a guest, folks. Please welcome our friend Tiger Stripes is in the wings here, about to join the bonfire.
Hey. Yeah, you should diminish me so we can just appreciate the fire. If we can make that smaller.
I can.
Yeah.
How about that?
Perfect. Yeah. Swell.
Thank you for joining. I'll pull up a seat. There's lots of space around the bonfire, as you can see.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I love it.
You can probably feel.
We'll never ever get old. Just listen to the sound.
From where you are. It's warm. And I just had to peel off that other layer. It was just ridiculous. Yeah. So happy Monday afternoon. Thank you for joining.
Happy Monday afternoon.
I was fairly productive this morning, and so I had time to come out here this afternoon and do this.
That's cool. I got out and got after some weeds today, so yay me.
Yeah. And, ooh. Yes, I did take the turtleneck off. Thank you, Rod. Wow,
what did you do this morning?
I cooked this out. I might have went a little overboard on the size of the fire. Hey, Wes Cagle. Hello and hail to you, sir. No, we won't be taking it all off. Well, I mean, it depends on how hot this fire gets, Melted Copper.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that. Let's not make any promises. Gap After Dark, hello, sir. Welcome. Just having some extra time, and I had some wood, and I thought I'd burn it. Do you have a chance to have campfires around your place, Tiger Sharks?
We have a fireplace in the house, but we don't make fires nearly as often as I would like. Not even in the winter and the fall. We do have any day now. The chimney swifts will move back into the chimney. They're there every year in and year out. And once they're there, you can't make a fire because they're raising their babies.
Of course. Yeah. Yep. A Christmas or a New Year's fire in the fireplace.
Yeah, that's a must. Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. That's where I grew up. We had a fireplace in our house, and that's what we did.
Yeah, for the Yule.
Wow. Hey, great to have you here, Gap After Dark and West Kegel. Thank you for joining.
Hey, West Kegel. Yeah, somebody said take it off. Yeah, like John Cena at the Oscars. God, that was hilarious.
I didn't watch the Oscars, but I've seen.
They were good. They were shockingly good.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen Ricky Gervais host them.
Well, I was talking with my brother like yesterday morning, and he's like, well, you're going to watch the Oscars? And I said, well, I haven't really watched the Oscars in a couple of years because they are so sickeningly virtue signaling and politically correct. And he said, well, that's just all part of the fun. You just got to laugh at that. And that's kind of surprised to hear that coming from him. And I said, well, I don't know. Maybe if I had a bingo card. And he said, that's the best idea ever. And I went online and people already thought of it, although they didn't think of it.
You're kidding.
I shit you not. It's so great. So I found a few.
Hey,
and I did play some bingo during Oscar night. I never got a whole bingo, all the way across. But and some of them, most of them were not about being politically correct, which would be a really great Oscar bingo. I need to make one of those myself and put it out there, I think. They were things 100%. Like, here's the ones that I got, here's the ones that I got. Musical performance, that's easy. Acceptance speech handoff, that's easy. Anyone mentions war/politics, that's an easy one. Winner kisses date before going up on stage, very easy. Winner stumbles getting onto stage, that's very easy. Tears in an acceptance speech. I didn't think that was going to happen until Emma Stone got up, and then she got me that X for the bingo card.
Okay.
And Jimmy Kimmel brings up Barbie snub. That was bound to happen. Winner thanks the Academy. That was bound to happen. Winner thanks cast and crew. That was bound to happen.
Was slapping on there?
No. Anyone says Barbenheimer. I didn't think that one was going to happen, and then they actually pulled it up during a sketch. And so they made that happen. And then, the middle of this card that I downloaded, that I found, was just a little picture of the Oscar trophy. So in the middle, I wrote on top of it, Trump. Because I figured, if anybody says that, then we get to X that one out. And sure enough, the whole show went by and nobody did until like the next to the last sketch that Jimmy Kimmel did. Because, of course, it wouldn't be a night with Jimmy Kimmel if he didn't take a shot.
So, no, that's all he's got, really. So,
but I can really recommend Oscar Bingo if you want to liven up watching it.
That's hilarious. We did Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it was a blast. I gotta say, if you haven't yet seen Arnold and Danny DeVito, I don't want to spoil it for you, but you've got to go find that on YouTube and watch it.
Yeah, I've seen the movie, the original movie.
That's not what they're riffing on. They're actually both riffing on being Batman villains.
No way.
Oh, yes. No, yes way. I don't want to spoil it. I'm not going to say anything more. It's nice. The best thing ever.
Because Arnold was, oh my God, as Mr. Freeze, that was terrible. That was, even for Arnold, that was bad.
I got to, that whole movie was terrible. Everybody in it was terrible. The director was off the wheels. The director is this big flaming gay guy, and I don't even think that's a secret. He's very proud of that. I don't think it's too much to say. And he just, he just told he didn't put a lid on anything. He told everybody, take it as big as you can, and it just all blew up. It's sad, really, because I think that was, no, it wasn't Kilmer's Batman, but it was the one with the nipples on the bat suits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
But it was the one with Jim Carrey as the Riddler, who should have been good, and he wasn't. Yeah. Nobody was good in that movie. It was just
Jim Carrey, it
was a train crash.
He's hit or miss with me, Jim Carrey. Sometimes he's a little. It takes it. It's just a little too much of the same thing from him occasionally. But it had a good cast. They should have been able. I mean, they certainly got paid a lot. I guarantee that.
Oh yeah. Well, a picture needs a vision, and the vision comes from the director.
Yep.
And if you don't have that, all the actors in the world can't make it right.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
Boy, I wish it was colder here all of a sudden. This is ridiculously hot. I should have had this last night when it was -10 and raining. It would have been fine. The rain. When you have a big fire, the raindrops literally evaporate before they hit you, so you don't get wet.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. And how long were the Oscars last night?
They started an hour early, so they were 3.5 hours, but they ended on time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And was anyone watching, do you think?
I have not checked. And we took a half an hour out to watch Bob's Burgers, which was on, opposite it, because we're big Bob's fans. And then I went right back to it, but it was, I was really happy that Ryan Gosling performed I'm Just Ken live, and it was massive, and it was huge, and it got a standing O. And, when they had the presentation ceremony when they announced the nominees, which is something that the Oscars do every year. It's sort of a formal thing. They always get a couple of stars up there, and they're on a stage, and they do it at Odon 30 because they're doing it for the international markets too.
Oh, yeah.
And they announced I'm Just Ken as a nominee. Some people booed.
What?
I know. So it was really well received last night, which was nice, a nice vindication for me. It was fun to watch, and it was also kind of delicious because I think of all those little jerks booing for God only knows what reason. Because patriarchy, who knows what was in their pinheads?
Exactly. I'm sure masculine toxicity had something to do with it.
Exactly, yeah. So that kind of rubbish. But anyway, it was really fun to watch. I haven't actually seen that movie, but I've only seen that sequence on YouTube, but it is a blast, that sequence. It's a blast.
That's a fire.
That's a fire.
That is hot. Wes Cagle says, I was told the Oscars were better than they had been in many years because the presenters and award winners seem to have learned to shut the hell up. I think he means shut the fuck up and get off the stage quickly. I'm quoting Ricky Gervais there. Ricky Gervais had a big influence on award ceremonies. I think so. Yeah, I absolutely agree, Wes Cagle. Would you mind reading this from our friend Wes Cagle?
Jimmy Kimmel is a dickless, hypocritical little bitch. Sorry for the vulgarity, but there's not really any other way to describe him.
Yeah, I didn't read that.
It feels like, how long ago? 6 years ago? All my life, I enjoyed yak shows. I would stay up for them even though I would be bleary-eyed in the morning going to work.
Yep.
I liked watching them. I liked, they made me laugh. I liked the repartee.
Yep.
And then once he who shall not be named started to run for president, the bottom fell out of it. And everything became horribly partisan, and I stopped enjoying them. I missed them. Yeah. And Kimmel turned like day and night. And he had a show that was politically incorrect for many years with Adam Carolla. And Jimmy also started as the sports guy on KROQ, a radio station that's pretty famous in Los Angeles. So I was a fan of his for a very long time. So to see him go in that direction.
Well, so would you say that he's changed his?
Oh God, yes.
Okay.
Because it pays the rent. Because he's got kids, he's got a family to support.
Yeah, okay. It's funny because I would say there's a couple of prominent leftists that have come over to more conservative or more centrist anyway, which appears conservative now. Center now is what used to be far left. But
hey, Rod.
We have Rod Thunderheart joining us. Hi, Rod.
Yeah. Got a couple minutes. I'm still got a couple minutes. I'm being loaded, so thought I'd pop in and at least say hello for a few minutes.
Cool.
Oh, do you normally drive loaded?
Nope. Sometimes I'm empty.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm bobtailing.
Yeah, this is a hell of a big fire, so there's plenty of room around here, my friend. I got a little carried away.
I noticed that.
I would
Actually,
say Russell Brand is a good example of someone who was more left, and now Russell Brand has shifted more center, more populist.
Good call.
Bill Maher to some extent as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think he's
a little.
Yeah.
I don't really know Maher that well because I never had cable, so I never got to watch him all those years.
Mm.
He didn't worry too much about being politically correct, obviously, but I think he had his perceptions changed, like many of us. His eyes opened, perhaps, like many of us over the last few years. But perhaps Jimmy Kimmel might have switched the other way because, money, of course. Yeah, perhaps.
Yeah, well, he did so many things that would hang other people, and yet somehow, because he's the anointed one, the late night host, they're giving him a pass and looking the other way. So he's probably just grateful for that. Grateful to not have been canceled, like so many have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who do you, do you guys, and I'll ask you each individually, do you guys follow either Russell Brand, who I catch most mornings, or Joe Rogan? We'll start with you, Rod.
I try to catch him every so often, but he's on YouTube sporadically for fairly obvious reasons, I guess. And I try to catch him on Rumble, but I'm still just getting my feet wet with Rumble. Only barely went. Yeah. This is nothing on Steve, but I'm only barely catching oh shit, Steve already went on his Ranker. Steve already did his thing. I'm like, damn. But I still replay them when I can.
I think Rumble has a long way to go. Yeah, Rod. Yeah, but they're good. I like them.
Yeah, but the Joe Rogan, I kind of do and I kind of don't, because some part of me is just kind of like, I don't dismiss him automatically, but sometimes he is kind of a bit of a wingnut, but it doesn't change though that he's a lot like Howard Stern in that I want to see what he says next, kind of thing.
Tiger Stripes, what about you? Do you follow any?
I was a big fan of Russell as an actor, and I did follow him. Why did I stop? I think I stopped just solely because he was cluttering up my feed. If somebody wants to post something 2 or 3 times a week, but if they want to post 5 things every day, 3 of them shorts, it's like, come on, you're cluttering up my feed. I can't see just for you alone. But I like Russell, and I like the things that he has to say. And that's your answer, Joe Salazar.
I'd love some.
and did a
My buddy grew it, Joe.
oh cool
So what?
wow.
Oh, wow.
What about
And I do watch and I do enjoy Joe Rogan, and I noticed that he has recently gone back to YouTube after
Gotcha.
taking the time off because they paid him $200 million to go solely to Spotify. His shows are now being broadcast in their entirety on YouTube again. I will be watching it, and
Yeah.
I like Joe very much. I like Joe because he is a good listener.
Yes,
Overall, yeah.
Yeah,
he
and he'll
is.
have anybody on, which is what drives the far left crazy. They want people
Yeah.
canceled, and they don't want people to have any kind of a platform. And he will talk to
Yeah.
anybody. And I like Joe because of that, because he gives
And
everybody
he
a
asks good
chance.
questions. He listens to the answers.
He does, and he asks those kind of everyman questions, which I appreciate. I got to say, Russell's a true intellectual. His mind moves so
He
quickly,
is.
I can barely keep up sometimes. His
He
flow of
shocked me.
speech is just astounding. Um, but, you know, Joe asked those questions that everybody wants to hear the answers to. And not vulgarly either, like, say, Howard Stern would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fire. Wow.
I have to say too that one thing that really made me stand up and take notice of Brand was because I didn't actually think too much of him, especially with the with his when he redid Dudley Moore's movie. Geez, I can't remember. Um,
Was it 10?
uh,
Oh no, I know which one you mean. I know the Dudley
yeah,
Moore you movie. The one with John Gielgud as the butler.
yeah, that
It's like
just
the character's first name is the name of the movie.
yeah, I just the name escapes me.
Yeah, it'll come to
But
us in
I
a bit. Arthur.
yeah,
William Shakespeare Spielberg got it.
Yes, that's it, Arthur.
Thank you, Bill.
Arthur. Yes, that's right. Yeah, but I took notice when he divorced when him and Katy Perry got a divorce. He said, "I don't want any of your money." No, he straight up said, "No, I don't need it. Forget it." You know, and like, you know, and that's just like, way to go. That's a stand-up guy, you know, and like,
Hmm.
and that's very honorable of the guy too. So like, no, and then I really started noticing. I'm like, wait a minute, this guy says some really intelligent stuff. This guy knows what he's talking about. And like that, just suddenly, like I just started listening and watching him from then on, here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Bill Maher. Bill Maher is also someone that used to be pretty left, really, and he's come around. He's changed his tune. He's been not so critical of some conservative people, and I think he's beginning to see the craziness of the extreme left has even gone too far for Bill Maher. So that's nice to see.
Yeah, yeah. Although, again, I think of many out there, and I still kind of put Bill Maher though out on the out on. He's still on the edge of Crazyville though, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've been watching him kind of for the first time ever because I can watch him. He has a interview show on YouTube now, and a lot of the time he doesn't. Maybe he's just high, but he doesn't really know what's going on, and I feel a little embarrassed for him. That's
I've really noticed now Russell Brand. You noticed when he started really becoming popular and really, making some waves. He got all of a sudden accused with a whole bunch of stuff, and then when that didn't work, that just sort of went away. So I guess we know why. That
well,
stuff was
it sounds
brought up.
like when you look into that even a little, it's pretty clear that there were a couple of publications, I don't even know what to call them, corporate magazines, news sources, and they dug long and hard to find women to speak out against him. And you can imagine what a wide net they cast, and yet they still came up with under 5 women.
Yep.
And
Russell Brand has never been, he's always been open about his mistakes, I think.
I think he was always an open book. And I think that if you were having sex with Russell Brand, you probably understood, that he was an open book. And he was probably, I imagine, pretty honest about anything he wanted to do. So the fact that they came up with 4 women out of the multitudes that he almost certainly was intimate with, that kind of tells you something right there.
Yeah, it would have been double, triple digits for sure.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like the whole Danny Masterson rape trial. I'm just appalled that he's in prison. It's just horrendous. Everything there is a he said, she said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people shouldn't be in prison for that.
I'm so glad I don't have sons, because I would be worried for them, I'll tell you what.
Well, you'd give them the talk, that's all. You'd just give them the talk.
But what, would you just never be anywhere alone with a woman? Like, is that what you tell them?
No kidding,
work,
right?
At work, possibly true.
I guess.
Truthfully, at work, on the job, yes.
Oh, hello. We have, very nice to welcome Sonia White. Hello, and welcome.
Hello.
We have Tiger Stripes, and we have Mr. Rod Thunderheart joining us while he's available. So, welcome to the bonfire. There's plenty of room.
Hail Sonia White.
Pull up a seat.
Yeah. Pull up a log.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's still ripping hot. Anyone have any potatoes they want to cook? Holy crap.
I always go to marshmallows because that's the kind of person I am. But potatoes would be good too.
Well, in the Boy Scouts, we used to get the tinfoil, the hobo dinner, I think they eat, the hobo lunch.
Yeah.
And you'd pack butter and carrots and potatoes and meat in tinfoil and just throw it in.
In a packet, yeah. Hobo stew.
Yeah, that's it.
My outdoor education teacher said that the seats around the fire were called fat chewing logs. That's where we chew the fat. Yeah. Incidentally, he's actually who the gym teacher is based on in my in See Through Love.
That's cool.
And how's your second book coming, Rod?
Oh, I wish I had a date, because I'm still too busy trying to both edit and write the story on the go. But I'm really hoping by the end of spring I can be presenting a finished manuscript to the publishing company, and then go from there. And like I said, cool. I started. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, I like it, and it's the big thing is trying to make sure that your characters progress convincingly, and that they have, so which I'm willing. I know they're going somewhere good, and I'm introducing some new characters as well. But I'm afraid it looks like I'm probably loaded, so I'm all loaded now. Oh. But but hey, man, thanks for letting me pop in for a few minutes, and
man, you've got an open seat in here, Rod, and I want to welcome Sci-Fi Sith Dan. Thank you for joining us around the fire.
All right, take care, y'all.
Man.
Bye, Rod. You take care too.
Thanks.
See you there, Rod.
Yep.
See you guys.
Thanks for being here, Rod. Wow, that's a hot fire. There's enough fire here for a dozen people.
So why not make s'mores then?
Not a big fan of the marshmallow, but I do like melted chocolate. Absolutely. Yeah, you could melt a buttload of marshmallow over this. Thank you for joining us, Sci-Fi Sit Down. We were just asking, do you follow any of the bigger independent media producers like Joe Rogan or perhaps Russell Brand or any of these?
Don't leave out Jordan
guys?
Peterson.
I do pop in once in a while on Tim Pool's podcast. Check out some of his videos.
Oh, I also watch Ben Shapiro.
Oh
Not
yeah.
not every day, because he does put up content every day. And I did used to watch him almost every day, but a couple times a week just to try to keep up with the news.
Yeah, and I do watch this conservative pundit. His name is Doctor. I just forgot his name. It's but I can look him up. Let's see here.
Oh, Rod's back. Good.
It's Doctor Steve
Couple more skips and whatnot.
Turley. I think his name is Dr. Steve Turley. He's a conservative pundit.
Yep, I like Dr. Steve Turley. Yeah, he's interesting. Yeah, I do like him. He has a. He's not a big fan of the. I didn't even know what a rhino was, being Canadian. I had to learn what a rhino was.
Yeah, Republican in name only. Yeah. And dinos they have now too.
We have some of those up here. Yeah, we have a conservative leader that just she was running for the leadership and she just dropped out. Yeah, we have some of those that. But yeah, rhino. That's an interesting term. Never heard that.
Yeah, rhinos and dinos are basically the same thing. They just wear different skin suits.
Matt Walsh. Occasionally, I'll watch a. When I want to find out the answer to what a woman is, I'll watch Matt Walsh.
Yeah, he's pretty hilarious. Yeah, a lot of the daily news guys are really opinion makers. They're not covering the news per se. They're just giving you their opinion. But Walsh is pretty funny.
Yeah, and we've got a Canadian. I don't know if you've heard of him or followed him. He's living down in Florida now, but he's out of Montreal. He's an ex-lawyer called Viva Fry. And Viva Fry. And he is very much an advocate of freedom and free speech. And I follow him quite a bit. And he's got a big following in Canada. And he's getting bigger in America now that he's living in Florida. He had to escape Canuckistan, so he's down there.
So I take it that's a pseudonym, Live Free?
Yeah, that's correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right.
How big is his channel? Does he have over 1 million subs, or is he somewhere in the hundreds of thousands?
He would be multiple hundreds of thousands. Yeah, multiple hundreds of thousands. All right, we have another guest joining us, someone that I know, Melted Copper.
Hey, Melted Copper.
The Bonfire.
Hey, Melted Copper. If you really want to melt, stand by the campfire with Kenny and Spider-Man. You'll melt for sure.
You're not kidding.
All right.
You're not kidding. It's hot.
Yeah, but I also like Facts Matter with Roman. And I can't get Roman's last name right because it's sort of Russian. Even though he appears to be mostly American, he's got a sort of an American accent. But I like Roman, Facts Matter with Roman because he will show you his research. He's very precise about what he's talking about. He's not an opinion person. He's giving you facts, and he shows you the data that he's referring to. And I just love that about him. And I also am a big fan of Dr. John Campbell.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, in terms of talking about the virus whose name shall not be spoken.
I watch every video he does.
He also backs up everything he says with facts and references. He shows you what he's, where he's getting his information. He's not just ballparking it. He's not just bullshitting. I like him
he's
too.
Neutral. He's definitely neutral.
Have any of you heard this YouTube channel called Trigonometry? I think it's called.
Sure, Trigonometry out of the UK. Yep. Oh yeah.
Yep. I like Dr. Jordan Peterson too. That's a Canadian psychologist that's always causing trouble, and he sounds like a frog.
I have seen a few of his videos about how society requires strong men and how ladies like a monster for a man, basically, or a killer for a man, because they like some adventure in their man. They want the thrill of having a husband that way.
Jordan Peterson says that women prefer monsters and killers, then you are not listening closely enough, because he wants you to make your bed. So you maybe need to give him another listen.
Well, he does say the nice guys finish last, so I guess I will always finish last then.
You're right. He's not supporting men becoming monsters and or killers. No.
Oh no, he's a very bright psychologist, and he usually supports things with some sort of reasoning than to just make blanket statements.
Yeah. We need to be able to become monsters if we need to, but we need to be able to control it so that we can fight against the evil in society, because they will be monsters, and you need to be a monster to be able to combat that. But
that's my point.
Control it.
That's my point.
Control it. And I can personally identify with that. I can be a son of a bitch, but I have control. And control is key. And I can understand that. I know a lot of guys that are loose cannons and very, very capable of rage, but they are very self-disciplined and very controlled. And those are the kind of guys that you want in your back corner, you know.
Yeah, for me, I am very blunt with things. I am. I'm not refined. I'm just blunt. I am.
Well, it's called growth. And different people, you can do, take care of things different ways. Some people you can be more forward. Other people need more
tactful.
Metaphors.
Tactful, in other words.
Yeah, there you go. Tactful. That's the word I'm looking for.
Or better yet, why not just become a politician and just do word salads all the time, where people just bullshit you way through it?
Oh, right. You talk a lot but not say anything. That is definitely a gift, really.
No, it's not a gift at all. I've seen several guys who enter a live stream and dominate it, totally bloviating, having nothing to do, derailing the tenor of the conversation. That's the quality and the direction, by the way. That's what tenor means in that circumstance. And no, that's not a gift. It's a curse.
I wish I could explain my thoughts like Jordan Peterson could, though. He can really explain what's on his mind really succinctly. And I envy that. That's his vocabulary.
And there's a new guy out there, Warren Smith of the Secret Scholar Society. Have you seen him yet? He's a young man who's a college prof, and he went viral because he was taking a meeting with a student who was, well, you hate J.K. Rowling, right? And he's like, well, I don't know. Do you? And the student's like, well, yeah, because he's like, well, why do you hate J.K. Rowling? He's like, well, because everybody says to. And he says, well, why does everyone, you know what I mean? He just takes his argument down piece by piece, simply by questioning him and listening. And it went viral. He's really brilliant. He's very cool. And he appears to be keeping his job, which can be very difficult. That's the problem with Jordan Peterson.
Well,
I'm so happy that he's made himself a platform and an audience, because the college that Jordan Peterson works for is working very hard on canceling him because of the students and the zeitgeist these days.
Oh, yeah. Some of the stuff he's dealing with seems like if this was the 1990s, you would think you were listening to a joke.
Yeah, and from what I hear,
yep.
The reason why they're hating on J.K. Rowling is because she won't go all the way. She won't agree all the way with them. That's why they hate her now.
Well, she's standing her ground on women's rights, which women fought long and hard to get and deserve. And so if you say that women is just this fungible quality, you can state that you are a woman, and then you're kind of actively destroying the very simple rights that women have gotten for themselves, like privacy and the right to women's spaces.
I want to go to a woman's prison if I get arrested. Can I do that?
Apparently
right?
You can.
Like, what the fuck is that?
Say that you feel just like a girl, and there you go. But don't get arrested.
Another thing, when they talk about this transitioning thing, it's like you realize, I'm not saying I'm against these people, but if you transition your kid, you realize that they will have to see a doctor for the rest of their lives till they die. Out the gates, they have a subscription to medication doctors forever.
Yeah. The pharmaceutical companies win.
A little warped. I haven't seen a doctor.
Mr. House Party's here.
Yeah, well, it seems like we're making a lot of pedophiles and sociopaths when it comes to that stuff. When they decide I want to become a woman, it's both sad and funny at the same time.
Right. Well, that's what I was saying about like some of the jokes and skits in Living Color. If you took them and transposed them to today, some of those characters. That's like Pat from Saturday Night Live, a classic. That's a person now. People would be like, you're offending a certain social group now. Like I thought about doing comedy skits based on kind of like Fire Marshal Bill. I realized that YouTube would probably think I was encouraging people to self-mutilate instead of get the joke. Humor's hard to achieve these days.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't write those words. Huh. Rod, are you messing with the account?
You did.
I gave Rod access, so that's not. I didn't write that. I did not write that. That's either my brother, shout out to Murdoch, or Rod Thunderheart.
Well, do you have the same username as him, or what?
Here I thought I was writing for under me, not you, but
Yeah,
no, it was me. Guilty as charged.
You freaked me out a little bit because I know I'm not drunk.
Yeah, and plus,
Machine. Paul Zach Baggins. There's a ghost in the woods haunting and writing about women's prisons.
yeah, plus, another point with all this identity bullshit. It's like with all these freaks, they say, well, if they identify something, it's like, well, then I identify as a powerful Sith Lord since I'm a Star Wars, so I love Star Wars. So call me a Sith Lord fan, then. And they'll say, no way, that's bullshit. It's like, oh, you see my point? How you call yourselves bullshit too as well? You call it.
I was thinking about this. If the women on Epstein Island were all people who identified as cats, would the legal system hunt them down for a puppy mill then instead?
Well, if they really want that, sure. Or if they just want to torture and be very sadistic entertainers, then yeah, they probably would.
So I have a
Hey,
question.
Sonia
that I'd
White,
like-
thanks for coming. Oh, hey, Ray Lucard's in the chat. Hey, everybody, thanks. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, share on your Xbox. I meant X and Twitter, and your Xbox.
Good to see you, Ray Lucard. Well, in CSM's neck of the woods, it's either Sasquatch or Wendigo. That is absolutely true. Good to see you.
I saw this incredible movie last week that
What
I
was
think's available for people to watch. It is. Let me see if I can remember the title. The title is "The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then Bigfoot."
I've seen it.
It's so
Sam
good.
Elliott.
Sam
Sam
Elliott.
friggin' Elliott.
Was it good? Wasn't it great?
That was a fantastic, unexpected movie.
Yeah, it was
Yes.
such a surprise. How good could a movie possibly be with that title? And then,
He literally killed Hitler and Bigfoot.
yeah,
Literally.
so brilliant.
Well, that's like there's a film called Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, which it sounds so stupid, but the movie's more entertaining than you'd think.
Yeah. Good call. Yeah, both of those movies. Good call. Melted Copper and Tiger Stripes. Both of those movies deserve a mention. Absolutely.
So, Canadian Spider-Man being up against the wilderness. Have you ever experienced Sasquatch or the Wendigo?
No.
Not even
I've
a
been in
whiff?
the woods a lot on both sides of the country, in New Brunswick and BC. And I've never seen a sign or evidence of either one of those things. No. Not yet. Not yet.
In my eyes, I would feel like they don't exist based on just the sheer amount of everyone has a phone now, trail cameras, the lack of finding bones and corpses.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Muppets Go to Space, of course.
Oh yeah.
A gray whale went by on the coast the other day, and everybody's hair caught fire because they're extinct. So,
What?
Yes.
I didn't know that they were.
I know. It was quite a shock. It was a beautiful thing. There's footage of it and everything. And it's it's very clearly a gray whale. It's got nothing on the back. You know, no spinal markation. That's how they can tell that's what it is. And it breached and everything. So,
Nice.
And yeah, the people who were reviewing the footage said we were just terrified to call it what it was because they don't exist. They're extinct. So that was exciting.
You know, this is why out of all the filthy rich people in the world, I like James Cameron, the director, because he's used his vast amount of money to explore the ocean and do something legitimate with his wealth.
Yes.
Yeah,
Did you like him before or after he ripped off Harlan Ellison and other people for his film ideas?
Hey, you calm down. That's called inspiration, is what artists call
If
skill.
it's inspiration, you go to the people and you talk to them about it.
What,
You
no,
don't tell
we
everybody on
people-
set that you're ripping them off.
Oh crap! Sorry guys, I gotta lie down. Or I mean, tie down.
Sorry. He
It's
apologized.
an homage.
Okay, guys.
It's
see you in a bit.
homage unless you tell everybody on set that you're ripping them off. Which you can bet he doesn't do anymore.
Oh God, that's like the batch. You know, I'm just playing there, being facetious, but that's like some of the
Well-
stories I've heard about Abyss, where I'm like, man, he's kind of a mean guy.
I'm just, almost all authors will grab a idea and run with it, but nobody like Hollywood. Hollywood's, at the top of the thief pile. They will steal whatever they can.
Oh, it's
But
like
and I'm not going to say that James Cameron isn't a good filmmaker, because it's really quite a feat to be able to produce a film, to be able to make a film.
It's like in the social circle of this group of you. There's Deep Space Nine and Babylon 5, which clearly are the same show. I mean, different.
Oh,
but you
I
tell.
only just learned 2 or 3 weeks ago that apparently he gave his Bible to the Deep Space Nine producers, who clearly ran with it.
Yeah.
And I had never known that before.
Yeah,
And that's what
that's
happens in
amazing.
Hollywood. And the
The
fact that he
internet,
was able to kind of let that roll off his back, and he speaks of it, but not with any horrible bitterness. And even, in fact, Harlan wasn't bitter, because Harlan was always a person who would put his money where his mouth was. He would spend a lot of money to sue people. And even if it was even, and even if it was a wash for him, he did it because it was the principle of the thing.
Well, I don't know if you guys know this, and I'm not stealing a guy in the comment section's idea, but I'm working on a film called Toilet Terror right now.
Ooh, I'm glad. I'm not
It's
into
a
toilet
completely
humor.
original idea. You're going to delete this stream, so the commenter will be erased, and I'll have a good, unique idea I made, right?
That's right.
Or block you gap after dark, or taking your idea. Not going to Hollywood.
Ray Lucard says, like how Kubrick was a genius or a bastard. I really don't know anything about Kubrick the man at all. The only thing I know about him is that he was a general misanthrope. You can like Stanley Kubrick, but he doesn't like you. He kind of had a disregard for all mankind in general. All of his movies sort of show the harder side of humanity. But
Like
he
going back
was a
to the
genius.
Abyss, like that.
There's no doubt he was a genius.
You listen to all the actors on Abyss. I think, what's her name? Mary Elizabeth Masker Antonio. She probably should have shortened that name down. I think she was like drowning, and he's still filming like, oh, this is perfect. She's acting like she's drowned, and then maybe like, but she's really drowning. Oh, that's great. It's gold. Keep the cameras rolling. That's kind of like.
Did she say that's what happened?
Oh, I watched a few things because I forgot what his name is. The guy who played the role, and because that they had like a whole tank that was filled with seaweed and algae, so everybody's eyes were burning and stuff. It's definitely a category. It's a good watch if you find it behind the scenes.
Any kind of underwater work is fraught with danger. That happens a lot.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I still wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind diving for a film loan, getting paid to be a diver. That'd be all right.
Well, they don't even do that anymore. That's like why Waterworld had an inflated budget, because back in the day they had to deal with real water, where now water films are all the rage. Avatar 2 is a water film, the new Little Mermaid, 2 Aquaman. So part of me is like, listen, under the new CGI realm, why not a water Mad Max? I feel like they could do it under budget and make money based on the nostalgia.
Mm-hmm. Well, have they remade 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea?
I don't think
That is
so.
a good question.
I hope
In
they
the
don't.
60s, there were a couple of Captain Nemo movies, not Disney,
Yeah.
sort of
I was
B
gonna say they got
movies, like those
legal.
Journey to the Center of the Earth style films. And they weren't terrible. But, and I think there was some sort of mini-series made for television film. But in terms of remaking it as a movie, no, I don't think that it has been properly.
I'm glad.
It would be, I'm surprised they haven't.
Yeah, me too.
That is weird, the fascination with the center of the earth, because I guess the legendary King Kong movie is going with the hollow earth concept. I like the fact they're doing the 70s kid version where Japan's decided to go with the adult version of Killer Godzilla. It's nice. We get both evil and hero Godzilla at the same time.
Yeah, Ray Lucard nailed it. He says Mysterious Island, Herbert Lom as Nemo. Yeah, that's at least one of the ones. I know there were a couple more too. I'm pretty sure there was at least one miniseries.
Your Muslim uncle. Welcome, your Muslim uncle.
Hello.
Great to see you. Yeah, I'm quite happy they haven't remade that movie. Actually, it was quite nice just the way it was. I don't really think it needs anything added to it. It was perfect. I liked it.
Right.
I really liked 20,000 Leagues, and
I
they did a
loved it, too.
30,000 Leagues later on. I don't know if it's the same director, and I haven't watched it yet. Have any of you watched 30,000 Leagues Under the Sea?
No, this is the first I've heard of it.
It might have been a spoof. I know it was low budget.
I think, like a good thing to do a remake. I say one of the best remakes would be The Fly with Goldblum in it. Because that the movie in its era was kind of goofy, and then they kind of, through new practical effects, made their own movie when they redid it. But if you're like, some of these movies are so close that the film and the world hasn't changed so much that the film is fine the way it is.
I would never use the word goofy for either the original Fly nor the Cronenberg remake.
Well, I guess I saw the Cronenberg remake, so yeah, fair. I saw this one where a guy's falling apart and doing the Brendel thing, and it's just graphic. So then when you saw the Vincent Price one, it had shifted my viewpoint to being like, oh, all right, this is a little bit more, goofy. And that's
You mean the original one with Vincent Price from the late 50s?
Yeah.
Early 60s? No, I don't find that goofy. I found it one of the first times I ever saw it, I think I just about cried. It is a bit of as much as a horror story can be, a bit of a love story. It's when he's writing on the blackboard. Oh my God, that's it's very simple, a very simple device, kind of a slow-moving film, but boy was that gripping. I believe the short story it was based on is awfully gripping too. It's one of those ones that gets you.
Oh, here we go. They tried two versions of 20,000 in Leagues Under the Sea in the late 90s. And Gap After Dark says 30,000 Leagues Under the Sea was pretty good. All right, well, thanks for that.
Wow.
Gap. The Sinbad trilogy and Jason and the Argonauts, that might be all right, West Kegel.
No, because you cannot replace Harryhausen. He was a master.
That's like they're talking about doing a remake of The Naked Gun with Liam Neeson. And I don't know, but I think Harrison Ford could be Frank Drebin, mostly because Harrison Ford is usually such a straight actor. And I've seen his interviews where he's funny. But the guy from Taken, I feel like he's already goofy, so he couldn't deadpan as good as Harrison Ford would be able to. But then I also would recommend not touching Naked Gun.
Ray Lucard said Saturday Night Live did a sketch about 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Captain Nemo was explaining that a league was distance, not depth. Well, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
That's like they keep flirting with Gremlins.
I wonder if it was funny. Probably not. It's. And how long before they make a movie about a guy that invented and made and built his own submarine with a joystick controller?
Oh God! That's like how ironic it's based around the Titanic, which would be foreshadowing in the film.
Was that just a year ago? I actually watched a special on that on the television about 6 weeks ago because I think I know. Wow. I think it was the year anniversary, and it was.
Wow.
It was. They gave it a lot of time. This thing was at least 2 hours long. It was pretty unnerving.
Oh my God! And it sounds like a catastrophe, especially when you listen to. I know, man.
Well, there was
kissing.
a guy there who was in exactly the same place as the father's son who died. That is, he was there with his son, and the guy who owned the company was pressing them hard to sign up to be on that particular dive. And the son, who was like barely 19, looked into it and then saw the footage and saw they were using a game controller to control the sub, and he said to his father, "No, this is not good." And the father questioned the guy who then the CEO, who then came back at him really hard. So the guy's talking to the interviewer, and he's like, "If it hadn't been for my son speaking up, it could easily have been the two of us."
Wow.
Which was very chilling to hear.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Well, the weird thing about that is that, I was talking about how Cameron was exploring new places. These people paid lots of money to see something that other people. It's like if I was to risk my life to climb Mount Everest. Okay, that's not an achievement because people go there every day. So it's a high risk for no benefit. Some of these, and plus, part of me's like he should have just took his little submarine that was janky and went to like the Great Lakes. There's a lot of unknown things over there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. There's somewhere. I mean, there's lots. Hudson Bay, James Bay, Great Slave Lake. There's.
Yeah, and they are at less depth, so you're less likely to crack and explode. And there's plenty of old things that are in there between Civil War and other eras that have sunk, but no one went in there.
What's the biggest lake in America that's not part of the big lakes, the Great Lakes?
Isn't it the one with the vain-ass name, like Lake Superior? Isn't that the biggest, deepest one?
That is a great lake.
Not part of the Great Lakes, I mean.
Oh, I'm sorry, sweetie.
Wow, that's quite a question.
I know ours would probably be Great Slave Lake or maybe one of those.
Yeah, I mentioned this lake a lot. I like watching the drying up of Lake Mead just because they find all kinds of cars and dead people there, and it's kind of like, wow, can you imagine throwing a body in a lake and then the lake disappears? That hitman's got some bad luck.
Ray Lucard says, yeah, Kelsey Grammer was Nemo on SNL. He was captured by the giant squid, and Phil Hartman goes, "That squid must be 20,000 leagues long." Well, anything Phil Hartman does is golden. My God, that man could have read the phone book, and I would have laughed until I cried.
Yep.
So I'll have to go look for that.
That's another Canadian, too. Him and Norm Macdonald sneaking into America and stealing our good jobs.
Phil Hartman was Canadian? I didn't know.
Yeah, pretty sure. Yeah, because I watched him on Letterman, because you watch these dead guys in every appearance on talk shows. And somewhere he's talking to Letterman about becoming American and sort of joking about not becoming American, even though he lived here for like a decade.
That is true. Salt Lake. Okay. Salt Lake, eh?
Oh, there we go.
Is that just a name, or is there really a lake named Salt Lake in Salt Lake, Arizona?
Sci-Fi Sith Dan, would you like to try and pronounce and read that?
Lake,
I believe it's Lake Okeechobee.
something like that. Yeah, the thing's melted copper.
No problem. I was thinking I might struggle. I'm assuming that's an Indian name of some sort.
Yeah, probably is.
Would that be in Florida? I reckon. Maybe.
Oops, sorry. Great Salt Lake is in Utah. Oops.
Right?
Yeah. Salt Lake City's in Utah. So
But isn't the Salt Lake really shallow? I was talking about Lake Okeechobee, which I'm guessing is in Florida. Yeah.
And
But yeah, the Salt Lake. I thought the Salt Lake was really kind of shallow, as lakes.
Not really a lake then.
I
It's
could
more
be
like
wrong.
a puddle.
No, I think it's really big. I don't think you can see across it.
Oh, okay.
I'll have to cheat and look at it. I'm such a horrible American. I'll have to look at a map and see which one I think and pick it. Which one looks biggest?
Geography is not my forte. I wish I was better at it.
Kenny, Spider-Man, are those logs dry or are those logs wet? Because if they're dry logs, they don't burn as fast. They're harder to burn if they're wet logs or if they dried out logs.
Well, if you're excited, I heard they did that.
I went and I picked up. I cut down some trees that had been dead a long time, but they were still standing, so they're not lying down on the wet ground. Standing deadwood. Yep, it's nice and dry.
My bro makes a
Nice.
point that wood really has to be seasoned to burn properly. You can't
Yeah.
just cut something down and cut it and burn it green. It's kind of got to have been dead
Oh
for a
yeah.
while.
Yep.
And certain
Yeah.
woods smell awesome. Like if you find a dead pine tree, you want to burn that. That smells something good when you're burning.
Oh, you're right. It does. Yeah. Standing deadwood. It's been dead for years and dried out as it stands. Absolutely. That's the
Yeah,
idea.
plus dry deadwood burns faster and better too. It does.
And less smoke. Yep. This is pine, so it is burning quite nicely. Pine
You know
and a
what
little bit of.
doesn't burn well is people. It's like the fire starts and they start shaking it off and yelling at you.
Yeah, it's good. We've got a lot of our wood tiger stripes we've had in the wood pile for about 3 years. My housemate and I. So we try and have it seasoned at least 2 years at least.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man, I
But
just
for-
subscribed.
Bonfires. It's
Yeah, we
really-
get people in the neighborhood who take down trees and then they pile it by the curb, and I think they want people to take it away. You could just take it away. And I'm always on the brother, let's go get that. He's like, no, you can't burn that. I'm like, come on, it's free.
I watched this guy show how to make maple syrup out of the trees, and I didn't know it was so scientific. Yeah, it's another Canadian, and there's all these wires. I was like, that's so crazy. Your whole job is taking the blood out of trees.
Yeah. 50 liter. I think it's 50 to 1 ratio. 50 gallons to make one. 50 liters to make one. I believe. I have a friend who he's in the business back in New Brunswick. Shout out to Dumfries Maple, and my buddy took it over from his father. They've been doing it for a few generations.
You got to
It's
boil
really-
that
really-
tree sap down.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
oil in America, so we don't really have maple syrup. We have corn syrup dyed and chemically made to be called something else.
We have lots of maple syrup. You just have to buy it.
yeah.
That's
Canadian environment. So Quebec is your syrup province, in other words, basically, or is that
Quebec
another
and-
province?
Quebec and New Brunswick is right beside Quebec, where I grew up. So New Brunswick and Quebec are both. Yeah.
The syrup provinces, basically.
Yeah, it's pure maple syrup, and it gets cold enough there that so I guess the temperature has something to do with it. But the winters there are cold enough that it somehow changes the syrup and makes it wonderful for table syrup. Yeah.
It's funny. They make the sweetest syrup, and yet they're all assholes up there too, probably.
They're grumpy sometimes. They're grumpy. You can make birch tree syrup as well, which I've just learned about. Apparently.
Oh yeah, Gap After Dark. Google is like an Ouija board. If you phrase a certain question a different way, you can get a whole new answer.
Yes, I use Google a lot on my phone to look up or spell different words, and whenever I say a word, it spells out a different word.
Oh, that's like I was watching court TVs, and there's a guy. His name's Daryl Brooks, and he's a horrible dirtbag. But I was making fun of his lingo, and so now my autocorrect has me incorrecting things I'm typing.
Yeah, but autocorrect does have its points too. Just make sure you're trying to spell the right word for it to autocorrect too, though.
Oh yeah, sometimes it'll just find a whole different word that shifts what you tried to say, and next thing you know, people are looking at you weird.
Those are some big lakes either way.
That's like, I think they're still finding tanks and stuff in lakes in Europe from like World War II. That's why I'm saying if people go into the Great Lakes in America, they could probably find some interesting things out of that.
Well,
Yeah.
there was the War of 1812 fought on the lake, so there probably are a few sinking wooden ships on the lake bed.
You know, it's like, see, I think that's why. See, I guess those people who paid for the tour of boat everybody saw. I think what they really in their heart wanted was to explore some new region, to find a thing that why else would you make that risk?
Yeah. Exploration.
That's why actually I know it doesn't exist, but I like the idea of a flat Earth because if it did exist, we could all get a boat and hiking stuff and climb over this ice wall to see how far it goes. But there's no Oregon Trail to the other Earth over an ice wall. It's a beautiful dream, though. Oh, and I think those people are real people. I thought they were all joking, but I guess somewhere there's a great conspiracy to hide the shape of Earth, but all other countries still fight each other They can agree on this one super secret, which makes sense to me, really.
There are a lot of secrets in the world, and a lot of countries try to hide what they know or what they don't want people to know.
Well, yeah, there's countries that hide stuff from their people, but the fact that other countries don't like them, you can't keep a secret from the world. You know,
I'm
like
with Yap After Dark. The flat Earth people are nuts. Yeah, I don't quite get it. I kind of feel like they're in on the joke, but if you push it, then they kind of blow up. So it's pretty. Got no idea what the gag is there. That's one of those things I just don't get.
Yeah, and I usually try to be an optimist. You know, I'm willing to hear them out. You know, because it's interesting. Like I said, I would like to believe them because if that was true, that like I said, we're going to Antarctica, we're finding them. Because there's actually in the Hollow Earth, there's people who legitimately believe in that too. Like there's a hole in the bottom of like Alaska, and you can like walk inside like Earth is a giant
particular mountain in Oregon that's an old volcano that's supposed to be an entrance to the Hollow Earth. People go on about that. It's got particular cryptids that live in the neighborhood there. I overheard I listened to somebody talking about it a few weeks ago. It was all kind of new to me, so I don't really remember much about it, but it was interesting.
That's like I think on
and Melted Copper and Gap After Dark. The reason why flat earthers are still around is because when you look at the Earth, to like as far as you can see it, it's mostly flat. So like the flat Earth is like, hey, as far as I can see, the Earth is flat, and yet there's no perfect curves to a point to where I can't see over it, so or under it. So where's the round Earth? It's like that.
I'm in a very flat area, so it's like even I'm a little bit more on the globe concept, like.
Yeah, but my point is that's why flat earthers are still around. Like they see like the Earth with their own eyes and saying, look, this Earth right here is pretty damn flat as far as I can see, and yet people say the Earth is round. As far as I can see, the Earth is flat where I am. So where's the round Earth? I don't see it. That's how they probably put it.
Oh yeah, Wes Cagel's on board with the old boats and lakes. Like 18, yeah, it's even crazier to think there were wars in 1812. That's even like film is relatively new as far as the dawn of mankind goes. Like less than 200 years ago, we just figured out how to make a film.
Now, Christopher Nolan noted in his Oscar acceptance speech, his first Oscar, by the way, after all the fantastic films he's made, his first Oscar, and he noted that film's really only been around for 100 years. He said, just kind of imagine the other arts, painting and dance and literature, and at the point at which they had advanced 100 years in the past. And that's the point that film is at now. And look how far it's come. It's kind of amazing. I thought it was really elegant of him. He had a really beautiful acceptance speech.
In our lifetime, right, we used to have phones, and back then phones only had rotary and didn't have buttons, and then they had touch tone, which was when we got buttons, and now they don't have buttons, and now I'm talking to people across the world on something that's smaller than the original phone was.
Yeah.
Time moves fast, and that's like in 30 years.
Good to see Edge of Time. Flat Mars. Well, we can all agree that Mars is flat. We know that.
We can agree that the disc world is flat, and that it rides on the back of 4 elephants on the back of a giant turtle.
Actually, with the flat Earth thing, I blame NASA for the fact that we touched the moon almost 100 years ago, and we have not done much with it since. And you would think that the closest satellite to Earth, that would be the hub of where to send things, to launch off further. People are interested in space exploration. You'd first want them to stop at the moon as like a gas station, because from the moon you can come back, as in 1960 someone did, so that it's proof you can come back. Because asking to send people to Mars is a huge jump. So I feel like once can we send
Trudeau? Can we send Trudeau to Mars?
Right. And then here's another thing. Once we get, and I'm not saying resculpt the moon's face like it's the cartoon The Tick and put Chairface Chippendale's name on it, but if you have just one mole on the facing side that we all look at, that'll wipe out crazy people thinking we didn't touch it. Because nowadays we have enough telescopes that little dot, the average Joe can go get a telescope and be like, I see the beauty mark on the moon. Those are people up there. Awesome.
Exactly. Right? You totally could. Yeah. Well, I've seen eclipses on well, at least 3 different continents on this
Got one
world,
coming up. I'm
and
looking forward to it.
they're all round. Every one of those, no matter where you watch the eclipse, it's round. Well, what? There's only one shape that can do that. If the shadow of the Earth is always round, no matter where you view it from, there's only one shape that can do that, and it is a sphere.
To all of you, look, I'm not a flat earther, but I was playing devil's
Yes.
advocate for them. That's why I was trying to
Yes.
prove their point a little bit.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's fun. That is the point. Yeah, 100%.
I am shocked there isn't an end of the world conspiracy this year, like 2012 or Y2K. Because there's an eclipse. It's an election year. We got 2 kinds of locusts popping up, the normal kind and these black ones with orange wings. So all summer long we get to hear wee wee wee, and I'm just shocked that there isn't someone trying to say the world's ending.
Yeah, right. Well, we might have an election up here. So people can't pay anyone.
Canada's getting pretty dramatic, and you guys used to be the laughable, lovable top hat of the states.
I know, right?
I'm like,
I
what
don't
the
know what
heck's going on?
Shit
It's
went
like Canada's
sideways.
getting jealous with the American spice. They're like, you know what? We're tired of being the happy face of people laugh and think it's a Canadian. He's nice. Let's mess up our image some.
That's right.
All right, Canadian, is it 2025 or 2026 for you guys' next election? In theory.
2025, but he's losing support so fast. I think he's going to be forced to call an election early. I think
What's more,
we'll
the PM in Canada is not elected.
Because almost all the Canadians I've been running, and I've been popping up on a lot of these wacky live stream shows, but almost all the Canadians I know just loathe that guy, lightweight.
They're going to introduce a budget in the end of April, and if the other parties decide not to vote with that budget, they can have a vote of non-confidence, and that forces an election. So that could happen with this April's dropping of the budget. If the NDP decided to get with the Conservatives and the Bloc and all vote against the budget, that's a vote of non-confidence. So a new election would have to be called. But I don't know. They haven't done it so far. But there's a lot of pressure on the NDP and the Bloc Québécois to stop supporting the Liberals, because their voters are running out of money and they're losing their homes, and they're starting to be vocal about it. So I think it could be this year. I think it really could be this year.
Yeah. What's going on with the Canadian black flags with the white slash mark? What's the deal with that?
Or what does it stand for?
Yeah. Do you know what I'm talking about? Because I've seen a few of these guys, and they got these sort of black flags with like a white slash mark.
No.
You may want to bring up a picture for him to look at for him to get a reference.
We live in the future. I can do that.
No, I know there's a blue flag with the infinity symbol on it, which it means is the union between the indigenous peoples and the European settlers of North America. So that's a friendship symbol, but I'm not familiar with any other than that.
So Canadian Spider-Man, this emergency election does not affect the regular scheduled election, or does it? I mean, a date, in other words.
Yeah. Well, the scheduled election is for 2025, but if the budget doesn't pass and there's a vote of no confidence, then then they'll have an election within the next 45 days, and the schedule will be thrown out the window. It'll have to take place within 45 days of the vote of no confidence, I believe. So it happens quick down here. We don't campaign for half a year. It's 45 days. It's pretty quick.
No. What I mean by that is, like, for us, the U.S., it's every 4 years. The president gets elected, and if the 4-year cycle is over and his party is still the minority, yet somehow he gets reelected, or he doesn't, then the next political party leader takes over that's able to win the election. So my question is, in this emergency election this year, the usual election mainstream date change from 2025 to like 2028, or does it stay the same after this emergency election?
Oh, it would change to it would change to another. It would reset to another 4 years.
Oh, you know what I hate about American politics is so we got this contest of, well, for starters, we get to pick between two 8-year-olds, which just seems like a bad
Well,
idea.
I'm going to read what Rod Thunderheart has to say. Rod says, no, the PM is elected. As his party leader, the PM has to be elected in his riding, so the PM could be from anywhere in Canada, but it's usually Ontario or Quebec. See, now I looked this up once. I really tried very hard to comprehend it. It was beyond my brain. It looked to me as if the PM was not voted by the people the way that the President of the United States is voted by the people.
Correct.
Although even the President of the United States does not win the popular vote. It's all about the number of congressional votes in each state and how they add up. So the PM appears to be chosen by the dominant party in whatever you call the Canadian Congress.
Correct. That's right, the Parliament. And so the people don't actually vote for the man. The party chooses, they vote for the party.
Yeah, so that's really, it sucks.
We got an electoral college, so we don't even directly vote our leader.
It's not perfect.
As I just said.
Yeah, sorry.
Canadian, your guys' Democrats, Democrat Party still aligned with your Liberal Party, or do you think they'll break off to form their own independent political alliance with another party if the Liberal government does not make a budget in time, or do you think they'll stick with them no matter what?
Oh man, there's a lot of people leaving the Liberal Party right now. They don't have a lot of support. There are people leaving and becoming independents. So that's a really good question, because they just keep doubling down and tripling down on spending all this money on woke stuff, just taxing us so heavily right now that Liberal MPs are really being forced by their voters to sort of abandon support and some of them have gone independent. So that's a good question. That's a really good question.
Guess my point is because whenever I look at charts or polls, and if you take out your guys' version of the Democrat Party, then the Liberal Party becomes a minority party, and so they can't get the majority vote without forming an alliance with you guys' Democratic Party. So my question further back in the video was, will the Liberals be able to still form an alliance with your guys' Democrat Party since both parties are both left-leaning or left-wing, basically? Will they still be able to form an alliance, or will they split and then the Liberal Party becomes a minority party again, and then they're not able to maintain power for a few years or decades?
No, they are done. They are absolutely the Conservatives are going to sweep everything in this country. The NDP and all the other opposition parties combined will not have enough power if it goes the way everyone thinks it will. They can combine and they won't have enough power to defeat the Conservatives. The way it looks now, the Conservatives will have a super majority, and I don't think anyone will. No, the other parties will probably not keep up this coalition with the Liberals. I think the coalition will dissolve because they're not popular, to say the least, and there's a bit of a revolt going on amongst them. But yeah, the Conservatives are going to be so powerful it won't matter. And we have two government houses. That's right, the Parliament and the Senate. And the senators are appointed, correct, not elected.
I'm mostly curious to see who Trump's going to be, who's his vice president this time, because it's not going to be the guy from Johnny Quest.
Well, I don't think he has revealed his VP yet, or has he? Because I really don't get involved with the. I try to stay out of American politics. I'd rather be apolitical.
If you're going to refer to somebody, you should really kind of try to use their name. The man's name is Vivek Ramaswamy.
Yeah, that guy actually.
Don't be contemptuous, please.
That's hard.
Actually, if I was Trump, he seemed like the brightest.
It is hard. I had to practice it over and over.
Yeah, that guy. would be a great choice. But the question is, will he be able to maintain cohesion in the Republican Party to make sure they stay together as a whole party, or will his nomination cause more division in the GOP party, though?
Very
Because
few
think-
people really care who's going to be vice president, I'm afraid. It's an awfully important position, but it doesn't do anything. And
Right, it's usually the hidden
It's-
ghost throughout the whole term.
it's an odd thing. You know, people really don't much care who vice president is. It's even though it's awfully important.
Oh man, you guys remember? Oh, you guys are little kids. You don't remember Ross Perot? He was running pretty good, and he picked the most goofiest man. It's almost like he gave up.
I liked Ross, but Ross backed down. They threatened
Yeah.
Ross's daughter, and then Ross dropped his campaign. And then he picked it up again and said, "Oh no, I'm running again." But it's like, no, you bowed out, and that's when I lost faith in him.
Yeah, that was
If he had hung
1992.
in there, even in spite of the blackmail, I would have been fine with him. But
Right. Well, Rick Astley would not give you up if he was president.
he would
Oh, there
never
we
let
go.
you down.
Rick Astley for president, because he will never let you
He
down.
would never run around or desert you.
That's right.
how long ago was he chosen for possible VP election? Because I'm not that old. How long ago was this?
Oh,
20
that's
years?
1992. if you're
Perot,
talking about
wasn't
Perot.
Perot during the Reagan years?
30
No, it
years.
was 92. It was like right. Bush is the one that started messing with them. Baby Bush, I think.
Probably 30 years.
Well, then
Probably
it was
30 years.
then it was long before my time. Then I'm not that old.
Yeah, I remember that. He had great pie charts, and he would talk to the average person and use a big pie chart and explain. It's like, here's where the money's going.
Yeah, he used to buy up
He
all
was
kinds of
good at that.
stations. Back in this day, kid, we had TV stations, so we couldn't just pick what we watched. So he'd be on like 5 different channels with his pie charts. Unless you were from a Ritzy family like me, and we had cable, so we could skip out on Ross Perot and watch Cinemax and HBO without the blurry lines. Oh,
Yeah.
Canadian Spider-Man. I did watch a few YouTubers that do dive into somewhat politics, and they say that your guys' Liberal Party is more of a right of center party or a moderate conservative party. But when they say that, are they just biased to say that they're more left wing than what your guys' Liberal Party is, or do they actually have a point that your guys' Liberal Party has gone more conservative over the decades?
No, I see a lot of similarities between our Liberal Party and your Democratic Party. They're both really obsessed with virtue signaling, and just cancel culture is rampant throughout both of them. I wouldn't say there's any. The Liberal Party in Canada has gone so far left now. I almost as far as the Democratic Party in the States, I'd say. Yeah, they're not very conservative, I'll tell you that. All right, of course, General Assad for Prime Minister. We will protection.
So in other words, the commentators that do videos on politics, and it looks like they're usually more left leaning or left wing than they let on. Because whenever I watched a few political commentators about the American politics, they say the U.S. political parties, they're basically just two conservative parties. One is right wing, the other one is far right, and they're competing for the same voters or same voting bloc.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, this is interesting with politics. But am I the only one who feels bad for General Zod and the Man of Steel? Because he actually, all his people got wiped out. He's just trying to save his people, and then Kal-El basically kills the last of his own species. Even you're like, wow, Superman, you're kind of an unquestioning jerk. You wiped out your own kind.
Yeah, I do feel sympathy for him.
He might be a nice guy. We didn't know. We didn't get to know.
right, we didn't know. Superman ended up murdering him. I'm sorry, you probably can't say it on your channel. I meant removing him.
Anybody who wants me to take a knee is probably a bad guy.
Yeah.
Anybody who says kneel before me, I
Yes,
don't know about
that's
that.
true.
Just
That's true.
philosophically.
I'll call you the next time if ever I get engaged.
Colors of the
I'm
main
doing-
parties are reversed up here. That's true. So
Really?
that's true.
That's hilarious.
Yep. So Trump is red down there, right?
Yes, the conservatives are red, the liberals are blue.
And it's the opposite up here.
Ah.
That was confusing as a kid. I'll tell you that.
Man, this was weird. The Republican Party, their mascot is an elephant, where it's like, let's face it, the only elephants in the States are captured ones. Weird mascot.
Yeah, and meanwhile, the D symbol is a jackass.
Yeah, that's another one where it's like, we're the Jackass Party. I don't know where they were going commercially on that setup.
Yeah, you would have thought a horse would have been better.
Yeah, like a Clydesdale. That's a creature of power.
Something dependable.
Well, actually, it could be a horse, or did they just go with this? Like, hey, your symbol looks like a donkey, so someone just call it a donkey and a jackass, in other words.
I don't know how those symbols came to be. That's a really good question, but I suspect they were chosen by caricaturist, by actual cartoonist.
Right. Well, it probably
so I don't think they were chosen to be complimentary. They weren't chosen by the parties themselves.
Good point.
Yeah, it was probably like a running joke, and they just incorporated it because they're like, "Fine, I guess we'll accept to be our jackasses, and they are elephants."
Mm-hmm.
Well, didn't Roosevelt he try to start like his own party, and it just never really took off?
Yeah,
the bull moose. Well, it's because he wanted a third, to be elected a third time, which is constitutionally illegal. So I think that's why he went for that.
There it is.
Well, actually, during his time, it wasn't. During Teddy Roosevelt's time, there was no limit on how long a president can serve. It was only after Theodore Roosevelt's presidency they limited to 2 terms. So before Theodore Roosevelt, the term limits for a president was basically unlimited as long as he's able to get reelected. Because if you look at Theodore Roosevelt's terms, he served for 4 terms, and that was the longest living president to serve that long. So it was not until the FDR presidency that they limited.
I'm sorry, but I don't think any of that really clocks with reality.
Well, the tradition in the U.S. before FDR was usually 2 terms. That was the tradition usually. So they stuck to that tradition.
This is off.
I wish Canada had that.
No, he got in kind of the same way LBJ did. He slid in when McKinley was assassinated. And that doesn't count as an elected term, I believe.
I wish we had term limits up here. We do not. I don't know why we don't. But potentially someone can be elected as many times as the public votes them in. So.
Oh God, it's like seeing the Congress and stuff in the States, man. Holy crap! It's like an old folks' home up there. Like some of these guys, it's like you worry about them falling in the kitchen, let alone making up rules.
Yeah, and here's another point. The only way a president can succeed the 8-year rule is if he served the previous president's term. If his predecessor got killed or assassinated, or he got
as I just
impeached.
said, yeah.
He's a kid.
Restate it again because it'll sound so much better coming from somebody with a penis.
And we've had a female prime minister that was in for about 19 days. I think that was our shortest prime minister. Because again, same thing. The one in charge stepped down, and so she was deputy prime minister, and I think that was the shortest.
Wasn't that short? She was a pretty tall lady.
Mm-hmm.
There was that lady a couple of years ago in Canada who was debating Trudeau on the floor. What was her name? God, she was sharp.
Oh.
She had a very catchy name. It was like the same name that somebody else famous has. Who was she?
Oh, yeah. Was it something like Sheryl Crow or something like that?
I know, yeah. She was super cool.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about. She was it's a similar name like someone famous.
She has the same name as someone else, but she's her own person. But boy, was she well spoken. Incredibly
Who's the
well spoken.
president in 1985? Ronald Reagan, the actor.
Yeah.
Hey, Doc Brown.
Well, you know what? We're coming up to 2 hours. And I think that's all I really wanted to do. I just wanted to hang out for a couple of hours this afternoon.
Spider-Man, tell me, we have a aging politician problem down here. Do you guys have a politician aging problem up there like we do, or is it just us that has the oldest politician in the world basically down here?
I think I'd vote for Wayne Gretzky to be prime minister at this point. Rod Thunderheart says, actually, Canadian Spider-Man, the name escapes me, but I believe we had a very short prime minister, even shorter than Kim Gamble. Oh, really? Okay, well, Rod Thunderheart, you are a fan of history, so Rod could very well be correct on that.
Well, I'm going to say good night. Thank you for having me on.
Yes,
It's nice
thanks
meeting
for
y'all.
being
Nice
here.
chatting with you.
Thank you for being here, everyone on the panel.
Yeah.
Just wanted to have an afternoon bonfire, and I'm happy to have your
Just
company,
love it.
Melted Copper, and
Yeah, thanks for letting me on, buddy.
Yes.
Tiger Stripe.
Start it up again later on tonight.
We'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll see what the neighborhood's doing. But
Yeah.
thank you for being here, and everyone in the chat. Really appreciate. And Rod Thunderheart, who was on the panel earlier, of course, thank you to you. So yeah, have a good afternoon, everyone, and I hope you enjoyed the bonfire. Thanks to all my panelists.
Want to give us a little self promotion on our behalf? Then for you do it for us.
Oh, I'm fine, man. I'm beaming out. You have a good day. Hopefully you pop up in the night when the fire looks even brighter.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, please. Please. If you do enjoy this kind of thing, feel free to subscribe and hit the like button. But yeah, we'll do another one of these before too long. I have lots of wood, as you can see. That's for the next upcoming bonfire, so we got tons. Have a good night, everyone.
See you around.